Now we can close the side seam. That is really, really simple. You really want to just put the right sides together, the shell and the lining, and pin it. Now on the back you will have marked where your tie is going to go, and so in that spot you're going to put the tie we've just made and top stitched. So I'm going to put a pin at the top, pin at the lower end, and now I can have a look at it. This is what it's going to look like. Absolutely gorgeous. And then my tie is going to go in there and just going to be slotted into the seam. So I'm just going to pop it onto the back where those two marks are. You should have snipped those, and if you haven't, then just go in now and, you know, mark them. Brilliant. Vertical pins so that you can sew over them. Not with the speed of lightning now, please, because then they're going to break. Right, so pin it again. And we're off to the sewing machine. 1 centimeter seam allowance. I keep repeating it because I do still get emails, people saying, what's your seam allowance? It's always 1 centimeter, it never changes. All the way to the top, I'm holding the fabric with my pin. That's a good habit to get into as well. And now my tie needs to stand towards the back, which means I need to iron my seam forward into the front piece. And then I'm going to take my lining as well and turn that right sides together. And I'm also going to close that. So simple. And this time I'm going to iron this towards the back, of course, so that the seams go in opposite directions. And I'm also top stitching. I really pull my fabric apart when I do that. And then I go all the way to the end. Again, longer stitch length is quite important, so it doesn't look homemade. I would say 3.5 probably, if not 4. And doesn't Samuel look so cute in his little waistcoat? He's blended in here, so cute with a white shirt. Absolutely love it. So now I'm going to do the other side as well, and you can see my tie here, or my tab, I don't know what you want to call it, go all the way down. Goodness, shouldn't I have done that tie in red as well? Gorgeous. Oh, now I can close the underarm, and I start where I stopped to make it easier for me to close now, and just close that little bit. It's much simpler. When we were in the testing phase, people tried to, you know, close the armhole all the way and then do it, and they said it was so difficult. So this is a really good way of doing it, because there's no difficulty to this. It's just a lot of steps. The seam allowances sit on top of each other. You want to pin this well, and then you're going to sew it. There we go, again 1 centimeter seam allowance. And then we'll lock the stitches in, of course. And that's it. Next we're going to snip the curve again so that there's no tension, and cut the seam allowance back as well. And which one of you can guess what we are going to do next? Can you guess? Yes, of course you can. We're going to do an awful lot of ironing again. We want to really press this out really well. Now I'm going to repeat this process on the other side. There. I've put my slider in the back already because I just wanted to see what it looked like, and it's gorgeous. I am so pleased. Now I'm going to use the sack method. Basically, I'm going to stick my waistcoat inside to just close the hem. Again, this is just so easy. seams on top of each other. And you want to put a vertical pin so nothing can fold over. And then we're going to pin it from one end to the other, leaving a turning gap right in the center. Go to the other side. There we go. Let's get sewing. When you get to the corner, you want to again have the needle down, turn, and then sew along. There you go. Don't forget that when you get to where you leave the turning gap, you want to lock in your stitches and don't make the turning gap too small. Mine's actually a little bit small. I always do that because I'm quite lazy by nature and I think, oh, I don't want to do any hand stitching. But as it happens, we're going to top stitch this anyway, so you can leave a slightly bigger turning gap. Make it 6 centimeters or 5. And all the way to the other end. And again, the needle must be down when you're turning your fabric. And that's the waistcoat almost done, isn't it? All that's to be done now is all the top stitching. Right, but before we can do that, we want to cut back our seam allowances. And it does help when you actually take out your pins. I do that a lot, that I cut over my pins and I'm thinking, oh no, there goes another scissor. It really blunts them. So make sure you take them all out and then you snip all the curves. And when we turn this whole thing, you always want to take the furthest bit from your opening and push that through first, so that you don't end up having it all stuck and you can't pull it through, because that's what happens. And from the other side as well, furthest point, grab it, pull it through, and then it's quite simple to do and easy. Ta-da! Now then, we iron again, obviously, and we're rolling out the seam so that it sits right in there, right in the edge. Make sure that where you left the turning gap, you steam it so that we have 1 centimeter and 1 centimeter sitting on top of each other. It's very easy to have like a little bump in there. Let's make sure that's nice and straight and steamed in. Really roll it on the seam so that it sits really well. I got so excited doing these. I've sewn so many of these waistcoats and I just absolutely loved it. There we go.